Hi, I'm Margaret Kusa, and I chose to look at Sybil Ludington. And Sybil Ludington is sometimes called the female Paul Revere for her daring nighttime ride to warn the militia that the British force of 2,000 men had attacked the city of Danbury. Unlike Paul Revere, Sybil Ludington was a young girl of only 16 years old, and she rode over 40 miles, which was almost twice as far as Paul Revere. Sybil was the oldest of 12 siblings, and the daughter of Colonel Henry Ludington. According to the article, The Forgotten Ride of Sybil Ludington, Colonel Ludington needed to gather his men because it was planting season and most of his men were farmers, so they were spread out far and wide over all of their farms. The rider that had come to warn them said that he was too weary and he refused to ride any further. So Colonel Ludington had to stay behind to muster his troops as they came in, and the ride fell to his 16-year-old daughter, Sybil. Sybil was born April 5, 1761, in Putnam County, New York. Donna Patton, in her article Sybil Ludington, Teenage Patriot of the American Revolution, says that Sybil did learn to read and write, but since education was not valued for girls in the early colonies, girls were expected to learn domestic skills instead, so that they could become good wives and mothers. Patton says that Sybil didn't mind not getting the education that her brothers did because her true loves were the outdoors and her horses, and that she was considered to be a tomboy. Sybil loved to ride her horse Star, that was a gift for her 15th birthday. She broke and trained the horse herself and was an expert rider. These are skills that would prove critical later to her long ride. Susan Casey in Women Heroes of the Revolution says that the British had a reward out for her father, and so Sybil was often his sentinel. One night, while she and her sister were standing watch, they noticed that a small group of British soldiers had surrounded the house. They quickly woke their other siblings, and Sybil lit candles and had them all walk back and forth in front of all the windows in the house with the candles to make it seem as if the house was heavily guarded. This scheme worked, and the soldiers did not attack. But on April 26, 1777, a messenger arrived at the Ludington house at 9 p.m. to warn Colonel Ludington of the British in Danbury, and he was told to call his men. His men, 400 of them, were spread over many miles, having returned to their farms to plant their spring crops. And he knew he couldn't go himself. He had to stay behind to organize the men and get them ready as they came back in. The messenger said he was too tired to go, and so Colonel Ludington turned to his daughter, Sybil, and told her to ride and gather all the men. It was a long and dangerous ride in the dark and the rain, with the fear of thieves and vandals attacking her in the forest. It was even dangerous to approach someone's property, especially in the dark. But Sybil rode bravely and called all the men for her father. In 1935, the New York State Education Department put up a series of road signs marking the route that she traveled, and in 1961, Anna Hyatt Huntington created a statue depicting Sybil's ride. In Colonel Henry Ludington, a memoir, it says, "There is no extravagance in comparing her ride with that of Paul Revere and its midnight message, nor was her errand less efficient than his." The Revolutionary era is full of exciting and heroic figures, and as historians we must be objective and honest in our investigations when looking at these men and women.